everybody and welcome back to another Disventure Camp video. My name is Silly Billy, but you can call me Billy. Today, we are diving back into a character ranking of all the Disventure Camp contestants. When I did my first ranking, only 2 episodes had been released, and since then 4 more episodes have come out, and a lot of you have asked me to revisit my ranking. And with this being a nice cutoff point as we head off into the merge, I thought now would be the perfect time to grant that wish as we redo our character ranking. Since the last time I did this ranking, 4 more characters have dropped out, and we are left with 8 more contestants. And since this show isn't fully over yet, I thought it wouldn't be really fair to rank the characters still in the running at the same level as the other 6 that are already out, as there's a high chance that their stories can still change in all sorts of ways, whereas a lot of the losers have seen the end of their stories. At least I think. But I also don't want to leave out the eliminated contestants either. So instead, I first start out with my top 6 ranking of the eliminated contestants, and then I'll give you my top 8 of the characters still in the race. And as a famous Italian artist once said, let's go! So, coming in at number 6, so that would be my least favorite eliminated contestant. It is Maggie. While we have most likely not seen the end of Maggie's character just yet, I must say that I think her storyline has been largely underwhelming so far. My expectations for Maggie was that she was going to get a big underdog story, but aside from getting to punch Yule in the face, not much more has happened in the story. There was no big payoff to her being bullied, and as you know, I really don't like it when the underdog character loses without consequences. So seeing Maggie have to leave so early on while not living up to her potential was a big letdown for me, netting her the lowest spot on this ranking. Coming in on number 5, we have Oliver. Oliver has gone down quite a few spaces on my ranking. Okay, well technically he increased his position by 2, but last time I ranked him out of 14, this time out of 6, so yeah, quick maths. Anyway, I really liked Oliver at the start of this season, and I was sad to see him leave so soon. I was delighted then when I heard that he got to stay around as an intern, in the same way that Dakota got to do so in Revenge. It allows for a lot of character development without detracting from the elimination order. But sadly, Oliver has faded into the sidelines in the episodes after. He was basically just there, to the point that I would rather he wouldn't be around. Because not only is he not taking center stage himself, but he is also stealing away some smaller tasks that the ventriloquist character could fill. Which is a shame, because this character is so deliciously random. I want to see him and his doll so much more. And you know what's the worst? I actually got my wish. This previous segment, I wrote that when episode 4 just came out. Yep, I rewrote most of this script just to include Yule's elimination. The stuff I do for you guys. And in episode 6, Oliver plays a major role again, but it goes absolutely nowhere. I mean, both his storyline and the character himself. He seems to wander off into nowhere, and as of writing this, we literally don't even know where he is. For that reason, Oliver finds himself in number 5. I hope he gets to reappear in a more prominent role in the future, at which point I might consider bumping him up a few spots, but for now, Oliver stays in number 5. Coming in on number 4, we have Connor. I really enjoyed Connor in the first few episodes. However, Connor has dropped a little on my list. Or well, I should say, the character itself still has some great moments that make me absolutely adore him. But what makes me place him in 4th place for this list is that his elimination left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Him dropping out because he doesn't want to sit through an elimination where there was a perfect opportunity to eliminate Yule was just a bit forced. And it didn't really help that the scene was pretty rushed. Sure, I'm aware that Yule had a 4-way alliance, and it would probably be Connor or Rhea anyway, but I would have loved if they would have played into this a little more by making Connor the hero one final time. Now this very fun character is just booted off because I say so. Kicking off the second half of the eliminated character list is Carol. There's not much more I can say on Carol I haven't already said in the previous video, because we haven't seen her since the last video. Anyway, I think the character has some great comedic moments, especially with her unexplained bond with animals. She didn't overstay her welcome, and she didn't leave too soon either. Great character, netting her 3rd place on the eliminated list. The runner-up of this list is Kai. I really enjoy Kai, and I did it before it was cool, I might add. Anyway, this character was just a lot of fun to watch. I didn't expect him to get much further than episode 2, so seeing him leave in episode 3 wasn't a big shocker to me. Seeing him run off into the woods to return at a later time was a surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one. I still really enjoy this character. Kai's voice actor absolutely helps bring life to this happy hippie. Seeing him snap in the way he did felt a little forced, but overall Kai is easily one of the best characters that is already eliminated. And with him and Maggie running off into the woods together to start assembling the Disventures, I am excited to see him return to the show once more. But all the previous characters are easily overshadowed by the number one, Yule. Yule's the biggest riser between this and the previous character ranking, and there is a very good reason why. Whereas last time I put Yule in 10th place, I have really warmed up to this little weasel. Most of this is thanks to the incredible performance the voice actor gives. He really excels at making Yule the biggest piece of turd I have ever had to witness. And I loved every second of it. The way Yule whines never fails to put a smile on my face, and in his final episode they do a great job with bringing his evil roots to its natural climax, as he is perfectly okay with poisoning one of the contestants to save his own skin. See guys, if you want to do an evil climax, you do it like this. Not like this. Also, him being the big showdown felt like a great way to separate the mergers from the others, and they did it in exactly the way I hoped they would the last time we made one of these lists. Overall, Yule easily takes the spot of my favorite eliminated contestant. From the 6 eliminated characters, we move on to the top 8 characters that are still in the race. I shall rank these based on how much I like them in general, as well as on the role they currently fit in the story. Again, there's still quite a bit of room for development with these 8, so expect today's ranking to differ from the final ranking once the show is over. At least, I think it will. Coming in as my least favorite character still in the race is Rosa Maria. Look, there are some characters that I enjoy less than Rosa Maria. However, those characters have actually given me a reason to feel towards their character. Right now, we are 6 episodes in. The time for not having a proper arc or direction set up is over. And all other contestants seem to understand this too. The only exception to that is Rosa Maria. Rosa finds her interactions mostly with Lake and Maggie, and now with Rhea, but she always fills the role of support character to their story. Literally.
I will help her, support her, and respect her every decision.
Sure, it provides us with new possibilities to explore the character, but so far I haven't yet seen those. We know surprisingly little about Rosa Maria, with the only real bits of character building being from the episode where some random bits of information were spurted out by Crystal. Her taking concern to first Lake and then Rhea is nice, but other than that, I don't really see a reason to put her any higher on this list. As such, she currently sits at the bottom. On the number 7 spot, we find Rhea. I enjoy Rhea, but I couldn't really tell you why, and that is perfectly telling for why she's in 7th place here. Her character was about to have this great relationship, maybe even on a romantic level, with Connor, but then Connor unfortunately got eliminated, and the one character Rhea really interacted with was gone. Now she has some interactions with Rosa Maria again, but they are fairly flat and don't offer a lot to look forward to yet. As such, I can't really put her anywhere else than 7th place, which is unfortunate because I do think some great stories can come from her. I was really hoping her finding the team swap advantage would kick off a more prominent role for her character, but unfortunately it hasn't really since. Also, I like to imagine that the screen isn't frozen in this shot and Rhea is just excitedly holding this position for a solid 2 minutes with nobody around. Coming in on number 6 is Tess. I was expecting that I would warm up to this character more from episode 3 onwards, but sadly, this character doesn't do a whole lot for me. It has gotten better over the last episodes, but prior to this I would have put her even lower than she is right now. The character does have her moments here and there, especially with the scenes with her and Hunter and then her and Allie respectively addressing her depression. Now, those are powerful stuff. However, that doesn't change that the character is still largely the same from her appearance in the first few episodes, who frankly can be summed up best as boring. Sorry to all the Tess fans, but that's just the way I think about her right now. Okay, time to kick off the top 5 for the second time. But before we do that, please consider subscribing to this channel if you want to see more Disventure Camp content. I know pretty much every YouTube channel you watch has an announcement like this, but they actually do really help with getting the channel more attention and even earning me a little bit of money, which at this point goes fully into making better videos. Also, I have a really ambitious goal where I want to see if we can get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of Christmas, and I'm gonna need every last one of you to pull it off. So please, if you want to support the channel, simply stick around, hit the big red button and enjoy. Thanks a lot. Coming in as number 5 is Hunter. Overall, I feel like this is a pretty solid character. Hunter has a charming personality, and while he's clearly presented as one of the main characters and potential winners, this doesn't detract from me wanting to root for him. However, the last few episodes really didn't do a lot of good for Hunter. I didn't like the reveal from episode 4 that Hunter knows Allie and Tess are into him for one bit. Not just that Crystal is spoon-feeding it to us, but also that Hunter is apparently perfectly aware of the effect he has on both women. Playing both of them like that, especially when one of them is in a very poor mental state, that ain't a likable trait, bro. And I was perfectly fine excusing this as plain naivete, but apparently Hunter seems to like doing it. And then Hunter has the audacity to say this.
Do you make kids cry whenever you're stressed?
Excuse you? They really seem to course correct between breaking Hunter and Allie apart and focusing more on Hunter and Tess together. And they do so by making Allie the bad guy. Yay! I'm fine with Hunter picking Tess. Actually, no, I'm not. But if you are going in that direction, then at least do it with dignity to all the characters involved. Oh, please, guys, whatever you do, please make sure Hunter makes up his mind before either of the girls is eliminated, so that the choice is not made for him by whichever girl just remains. Please! But even with that nitpick aside, I feel like Hunter is growing more cocky by the episode, and I don't necessarily feel like this is the message that they want to commit to. While I had a good laugh about his reaction to teaming with Lake...
Nope. Not another one.
It doesn't mean that I can relate to Hunter's perspective, nor can I sympathize with it. As such, Hunter sticks to position 5, with the fear that he might drop even further if they don't alter his character in the next couple of episodes. Coming in as number 4 is Lake. I am not afraid to admit to my mistakes. Whereas I earlier put Lake in dead last on my ranking, I think that she has received some significant character development. And while I'm not yet on the point where I will make an entire video about how great Lake is, I do think her home situation is pretty well built up, and it very much intrigues me to see where they are going with this character. When I saw the episode 4 thumbnail, I was pretty sure that would be the end of her story, but now this is the most invested I have been in her character for sure. And her fake out elimination in episode 6 made me realize just how much I hope we get to see more of this character. Still, I think 4th place is fitting here, considering the hype is still mostly based on the last couple of episodes, whereas the 3 characters that remain all have something that I really enjoyed about them in most of their appearances. And we kick off that top 3 of our Disventure Camp character ranking with Allie! Surprising everyone including me, I am not giving the number 1 to Allie this time around. Reason being that Allie's greatness from the first 2 episodes hasn't really carried over since. I've already touched on the whole ordeal with her and Hunter, so I won't go into this too much, but her fighting children is just really out of character for the Allie we've come to know so far, and it's never addressed again, and it just feels shoot in to break up that tension between Hunter and Allie, and make us go, oh, let's ship him with Tess again. If they were aiming for me to like her less, then congratulations team, you succeeded. But of course, such a small detail isn't enough to knock her down 2 spots. From episode 3 onwards, Allie has drifted more and more to the background, as the story tends to focus more on Hunter and Tess, and now a little bit about Tess and Allie. And this trickles over into Allie's character too. It's almost as if the creators were surprised by the reception Allie and Hunter got, and are now trying to course correct. The result? Allie drops 2 spots. She stays this high up because, well, come on, it's Allie. I adore Allie. Which makes this all the more painful to watch, especially with the knowledge that she might drop even further if this isn't changed soon. Ow. Oh, by the way, Odd Nations, if you're watching this video, please note that I still adore Allie and the show itself. Please don't interpret this as a personal attack, but see it as a form of constructive criticism. Unless you're going to make Allie the villain, in which case I'll come looking for you. So, final 2 are Aiden and James, huh? How fitting. Who will be on top? Well, once I tell you, you might zone off. So let me start with explaining my adoration for both of these characters, and then I'll give you the ranking, okay? Look at me beating the algorithm. Even now as I'm explaining this explanation, you still keep watching. Your precious seconds translate to sweet, sweet view time. The result? Money. So much money! Even now that I explain to you how explaining my explanation is just a ploy to get you to watch more, you are still watching this video, every second of it growing my channel, so that even more people get this video and they recommend it. And you know what that means, right? Even more money! And yet, you're still watching! So, what makes Aiden and James so likable? Well, with all the drama surrounding Hunter and his harem, Aiden and James's haters to lover arc is as good as locked in. I already really like both of these characters for their clear good and bad dynamic, but now that James has shown a little bit of heart to the point that it almost turns Aiden into the bad guy at times, I am really endeared by their interactions. It keeps every time they are on screen together fresh and exciting. You never know if James is going to pull an evil scheme, or if Aiden is going to accept their connection, or if they simply will grow closer together. With that being said, I think second place is going to James. Simply put, I think Aiden has been more consistently enjoyable over all 6 of his appearances so far, whereas James has shifted a little bit for me for where I thought he was going to be the villain, but then it turns out he isn't really, but maybe he still is? I haven't fully dropped that theory just yet, but it does make the deciding factor in which one of these characters I put in second and which I put in first. Aiden, on the other hand, now this is a character I want to see win. I have no clue if Aiden ends up beating James, loving James, or both, but whatever the outcome may be, Aiden has the clearest defined story ahead of him, and is in my opinion not only the most likely to win, but also the best pick to do so. But anyway, I guess that's going to be it for me. I think we've done enough channel plugging for one episode, so I guess if you like this video, give yourselves a pat on the back. But again, I thank you for watching. This has been Silly Billy, and remember to like and subscribe. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Howdo!